I'm Brandy and I'm the mom behind Aunt Bindy's Bookshelf. On this channel, we help moms as they help their kids to learn and grow. Today, we are going to do that by talking about some spring sensory bin ideas. It's officially spring, and I don't know about you, but I am ready to move on. I am over winter. I'm done with it. One great way to celebrate seasons and holidays with your toddler, preschooler, elementary school kid is to include those seasons or themes in their sensory bin. I'm going to talk about 4 different sensory bin ideas today. In these sensory bins, I've used the same filler in each one. I've used rice that I dyed green. I will go ahead and put the tutorial on how to dye that rice here, and I'll put it in the description too. It's a step-by-step tutorial, so easy. Using the same filter makes life easier when you switch out themes. It means all you have to do is take out the toys and props and put in new ones. You don't have to empty the bin completely. One less thing to worry about. I also included with each of these sensory bin ideas a picture book that I think goes great with it. I love to include a picture book. I love to make those additional connections. You use that picture book, use a different picture book, use no picture book at all. These are just ideas for you to take. I'm going to make sure to include chapters in the description because I know as a mom, you're probably way too busy to watch this full video all the way through. Look at the chapters, pick out the specific sensory bins that you're interested in, and just watch those parts if you don't have time to watch it all. If you do have time to watch it all, really do, because they're all good. All right, let's get started. First up, we're going to do kind of just a generic spring sensory bin. I've added toy bunnies and bunny tails to some dyed rice. Now I'm taking some speckled eggs and using paint pens to write a capital letter and its matching lowercase on each half of an egg. Put these in the bins and invite kids to match them up. So easy and great practice, much more fun than flashcards. Take this outside on a beautiful spring day. Next, we're going to do an Easter-specific sensory bin. If you don't celebrate Easter, just switch out the picture book that I chose. It's really the only Easter-specific thing in the bin. The rest could just be kind of a spring sensory bin. Let's make an Easter sensory bin. If you want to make things super simple, just put Easter eggs in the rice. Kids can practice fine motor skills by putting them together, taking them apart, and pouring rice from one to the other. To take it up a notch, add in some bunny tails and a die. I got this large die at the Dollar Tree and I had the pom-poms. Kids can roll and count bunny tails as they add them to each egg. Kids working on addition can add in a second die. Put the number from one die in one side of the egg and the number from the other in the second side. Now, how many tails do we have in our egg? Add in an Easter book. This one is the Country Bunny and the Golden Shoes to start or end the play. Third, we'll do an egg-themed sensory bin. Spring is all about hatching and growing and new life, and eggs are the perfect way to celebrate that. This one is simple, low prep, and focuses on fine motor skills. I'm just adding Easter eggs to dyed rice. You can see my YouTube channel for how to dye this rice. Then I'm adding in these fabulous pretend play eggs from Hape. There are 2 different kinds of eggs in the carton. Some with jagged shells to match up and piece together, and some with Velcro to stick the 2 halves together. Read after the fall and then invite kids to play in the egg bin. Finally, we're going to do a fairy garden themed sensory bin. Spring always makes me think of magic and fairies out there waking up the world. Let's make a home for them. One more spring sensory bin idea. When I saw these little fairy garden pieces at the Dollar Tree, I knew I had to make a sensory bin with them because who on earth can resist a fairy garden? Now, these pieces are small, so this is definitely a bin for the over 3 crowd, but if you have kids in that age range, this is magical. You can use this bin as a practice tool for directional language by having kids place their fairies where you ask them, using words like next to the mailbox, in front of the door, behind the bush, things like that. Or you can just turn kids loose and let their imaginations run wild. Are those all fun? I have way too much fun putting those together. Hopefully you found a couple ideas that'll work for the kids in your life. And even more, I hope that it inspired you to put together some spring sensory bins of your own. Let me know in the comments what you're doing for spring sensory bins. If this video made you want to have some more info about sensory bins or put together a sensory bin of your own, go ahead and check out the video that I made on how to DIY a sensory bin for $10 or less. I will link it here and in the description. Remember that I do a video like this every week, every Saturday, and then once a month I put together a craft and a science video based on our picture book of the month. Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss those.